All right, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Gagola speaking. In today's video, I want to talk about the application or the implication of this new tax law on you and your business. So if you are someone who takes money for people, you help them to keep the money for a period of time, and then after on they collect the money back, especially if you're not even doing it for business, right? So I personally have a situation whereby I've saved up money with somebody for a period of time and the person gave me my money back as at when it's needed. So in situations like that, what are the tax implications? What is the implication of this new tax law on that kind of money? You also have a situation whereby you are running a small business and you want to know the application of this tax to you as a person generally. So I'll try to summarize the new tax law in this 5 to 10 minute video. So watch this video from beginning to the end, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Without any further ado, let's go into the video. So there are different kind of taxes that will be coming up. So I've mentioned a few of them. Some of them is just like the personal income tax. You have the company income tax, you have the VAT, the withholding tax, and different other form of taxes. Now if you own a business, you'll be paying the company income tax. Now if the business is registered as a company, you will be paying the company income tax. But most small businesses will be exempted from paying the company income tax, but we have to carry out the VAT, that is the VAT tax, right? They will have to pay that. While for individuals or other small businesses who are registered as as business name, they'll be paying the personal income tax. Now that personal income tax exempts all your earning below 800,000. So once you earn below 800,000 annually, then you are not going to be paying any personal income tax. As an individual or as a business registered as a business name, right, you'll not be paying any personal income tax. But once you start earning above 800,000, that money will be taxed. So if you are earning up to like 2 million naira, the first 800,000 will not be taxed. Then from 800,000 above, that is 1.2 million, that margin will be taxed. So there's a percentage that will be taxed from that particular money. I think the percentage starts from about 15 or 18%, upward, depending on your cadre that you are in. So I'll be dropping a link in the description where you will be seeing your tax calculator, how you can calculate the number of tax or amount of tax you'll be paying, right? All right, now back to my gist. So if you're someone who keep money for people for a period of time, and then you don't, you're not doing it as a business, you're just helping people out, they save up money with you in your personal account. For that money not to be taxed, these are the things you need to do. Number one is that you must make sure that the money, when it is being sent to you, it is properly described. Now the description will determine if this money is taxable or not. So imagine the person sends the money to you without description. Immediately the tax man, it doesn't concern him, he will tax that particular money. And the reason is because you cannot properly account for how that money came into the account. You cannot say that money was not sent to you because that it was not sent to you for a business purpose or not, right? So if you can't do that, then that money is taxable. But the only way you can save yourself is to make sure that anybody sending money to you for contribution, for instance, must state specifically, explicitly, that this money is for social contribution, for social month, or for social day, or for savings. So let the description be as explicit as possible. In fact, don't let anybody send money to you using USSD. Don't use USSD to transfer money to people. So the best form of descriptions or the best form of payment that you must receive if you find yourself in such situation is to make sure that you are using the bank transfer, and that bank transfer must allow you to be able to impute properly the description of that particular transaction, and that description will save you the stress of having to complain or giving an excuse for anything. It's properly stated that the person that's sending me this money is sending it for contribution, and obviously at the end of the month or at the end of the year or at the end of any period of time agreed, this person will be taking up their money. So what about for you that you are helping to build a project for somebody in Nigeria, right? Maybe your brother abroad is sending you money to build a project in Nigeria, and that money is not supposed to be taxed because you're not using it for business. Tell your brother or your sibling or anybody or your uncle or your family member sending you money to properly describe that particular transaction, and that description must be as explicit as possible, right? Let it be money for building project sent to social person for buying of zinc, for buying of blocks, for buying, when you state transactions like that, it is obvious that it is not for a business transaction, right? So if it's not for a business transaction, then that money is not going to be taxed second time. Now, the reason why is this very important? This is very important because that money itself, it is initially taxed. So if, for instance, I am doing a business, I maybe in a month I'm making, like, let's say 10 million naira in a month, for instance, and after my before I can save, that money is already taxed, right? So imagine now I'm now saving the money with somebody to keep for me. Imagine the person being taxed on that money again. So that means that money is going to be taxed twice, and that is not acceptable, right? That's not the intention of this new tax law. The new tax law is meant to help you. I don't know the intention of the government anyway, or Tinubu when this was being drafted, but the point is just that to avoid your money from being taxed twice, you must make sure that a proper description is given, so that way you can avoid double taxation of your hard-earned money. So what if you are doing small businesses? Now, if you are doing a small business, now the first thing you need to do before you determine or you can evaluate if you want to, or if you are eligible to pay tax or not, is that number one, you must check if that business is as tax exemption. Now, what is the tax exemption I'm talking about? Now, this, what I'm saying in essence is that if your business that is registered as a business name is earning below, or the profit margin all through the year is at below 800,000, then you don't have to stress yourself, right? You won't be paying any tax. But once you start earning beyond that, you have to pay tax. Or if the business is specifically in a particular industry that has tax exemption, especially VAT tax exemption, then you don't have to bother yourself. When I say you don't have to worry, that means maybe you will not be paying VAT also, right? So you do your proper research and reach out to a chartered accountant or a professional tax person to help you out in making that decision. Now, after saying that, you must also understand that how you register your business will determine the structure, and that will determine the kind of tax you'll be paying. If you register as a company, you'll be paying the company income tax. If you register as a business name, you'll be paying the personal income tax. So what I would advise you is to evaluate how much you are earning or what your total income is at the end of the year. And with that, you can determine, okay, if you should register your business as a business name or as a company. If you are running into millions all through the year, you have no choice than to register as a company, especially if you want to get access to government contracts and you want to have a better structure for your business. So you won't have any choice than to register as a company. But if your business is earning less than, depending on whatever your income is, and you find yourself in a situation whereby you don't need or government contracts and all, then why not just stick with the business name registration that you have right now? After making this decision, that will also determine the kind of tax you'll be paying. Either you'll be paying the company income tax or the personal income tax. And if you're also a company, don't forget that you'll be paying other taxes, like I think the withholding tax and the VAT as well. That you're exempted from paying the company income tax does not mean that you'll be exempted from paying the VAT. I think VAT is about 7.5 or so, 8% or thereabout. Do your research and confirm that for every transaction you're making, depending on the kind of industry you find yourself. So in summary of this video, make sure you put proper description on your businesses, on your bank transfers. That way you would be able to save yourself unnecessary complaint and unnecessary explanation to the taxman when they come knocking. My name is Akinwala Ezekiel, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace out.